Marie Tendler, and welcome to Coven Quorum. This is an advice column. You submit questions, queries, conundrums, and I supply the answer. First things first, I am an expert in nothing. I have no credentials. I am not qualified. I'm just a girl with a useless master's degree, DBT skills, and a lot of therapy experience. Let's get started. Welcome to episode 2. We've come a long way, baby. I want to talk about the Tour de France. Is anyone here watching the Tour de France? Here's my problem. I'm recording this while the tour is going on. By the time this episode comes out, the tour will be over. And everyone, I mean everyone, will be like, why are you talking about this? I want to talk about it anyway. I love feats of endurance. I love sports because I was a dancer. The Tour de France is crazy. You can watch it on TV, but it's a little bit boring. It's a little bit boring until you get to the very end of the stage when the breakaway happens. Until then, it is hours of just a group of guys pedaling. It gets very boring. I simply love the psychological dynamics between and within the teams. Right now, I just want to know if little Tadej Pogačar is going to win or little Jonas Vingegaard is going to win. They keep going back and forth, and back and forth. One wins, the other wins. One wins, the other wins. Back and forth like that. Who will it be? Who will win the yellow jersey? Tadej Pogačar wants to win because he is defending his title. Additionally, last year, when Tadej Pogačar won 2024, Jonas was coming off a very, very, very bad crash from 3 months earlier. People didn't even know if he was going to be able to race in the Tour because in that crash, his little teeny tiny body flipped over the bicycle, a bunch of other people went down, and he broke his collarbone and he punctured both of his lungs. It was very bad, and he didn't start training for the Tour until a month and a half before the start of the Tour. Everyone's like, can Jonas do it? Can he do it? No, he could not do it. Tadej Pogačar won. But you know what I think? I think because I get how these sports brains work and they're very, very, very messed up. They're very, 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 very competitive. Probably more competitive with themselves than they are with other people. I bet Tadej Pogačar always wondered if he won in 2024 just because Jonas was not at the top of his game. And you know what? Tadej wants to prove that he is at the top of his game. Of course he does. Jonas has got a lot to lose here, and he wants to prove that he's back, baby. If he can't pull out a win this year, if he can't take it from Pogačar, man, psychologically, I don't think he's coming back from that. How do you come back from that? Little Jonas might be done. These are little string beans on bikes. These men are little string beans on super fast bikes. They are extremely talented. They're also little string beans. My personal favorite thing that happens on the tour is when the leader of the team lets a supporting cyclist on the team, the domestique, if you will, win a stage, giving him a chance to don the coveted yellow jersey for the next stage. This just happened yesterday in stage 15. Tadej Pogačar let his domestique, I don't know his name, win the stage, and that guy gets to wear the yellow jersey the next day. That's sweetie boy stuff. That is good sportsmanship, and that is what I call sweetie boy stuff. A lot of you listening might be going, well, I did not realize AMT knew so much about sports. I do. I know a good amount about sports. Some of you may also be saying, I have no idea what she's talking about. I can solve that problem for you. May I recommend the Netflix docuseries Unchained Tour de France. I have no idea why it's called Unchained. Oh, maybe it's because like the bike is unchained from like a bike lock. I don't think anyone there is locking up their bikes with a chain. Why on earth would anyone be stealing bikes? They all already have bikes. Were I asked to give notes on the show, I haven't been yet, but if I were, I would pitch that the show be called Unclipped because their little shoesies clip into the pedals. I just love this show so much. It's emotional and it's heartwarming. It makes me cry. It is a true tale of talent and perseverance and determination. And of course, everyone's doping. Time for questions. Our first question comes from Maiden from San Francisco. As a photographer, I am with rock stars on the road for weeks on end. How do I stay stable in my work with a relationship that's crumbling? I have feelings for the guy I work for, and the guy that I'm dating hates my job. No clue what to do. You answered the question for yourself when you typed 2 words, crumbling relationship. Get out of there, girl! If it's already falling apart, it sounds like perhaps there's no need to try and save it. You don't want to date someone who hates your job. Trust me, it's a nightmare. It will be a constant point of contention. You will never get over what your job is, and it seems like you have a really cool job. Seems like you like your job. I don't recommend changing your job for somebody that you're dating. Now, feelings for the guy you work for, Maiden, I recognize that you did not ask me about this, but I have to say, I cannot recommend getting romantically involved with someone you're working for. I do not recommend mixing business with pleasure. Good luck to you, Maiden. My hope is that you find a partner who supports and celebrates your job. Last thing, don't date rock stars. This next one is juicy. It comes from Forrest from North Carolina. Should I unfollow my ex-best friend on Instagram? A decade ago, we were best friends, probably the best friend I've ever had. She's a brilliant artist, and I've always admired her work. We sometimes talk on the platform, but often it feels heavy, one-sided, unanswered, unresolved. I sometimes wonder if it's healthy just to unfollow and wish her the best. Friendship endings are very sad. Maybe even more sad than relationship endings, romantic relationship endings, I mean. I'm lucky to have not had a lot of friendships end during my life, but I've had a couple significant ones, whether something concrete happened or it was just a slow fading away, which it sounds like yours was. And both are very, very difficult and sad. There's a lot of grief involved in losing a friendship. An unfollow seems like an aggressive move to me. And maybe you're looking to make an aggressive move, but it sounds like you're not. I would recommend a mute. Mute allows you to continue following her, but you don't have to see her stories, you don't have to see her posts, and it can be as if you unfollowed her without sending her the message, I don't want you in my life anymore, I don't want to see your content, I don't want to know what's going on in your life. The world is already so hard. It's so ugly out there. It's so hard out there. I want to try to not participate in adding to pain. Maybe she won't care if you unfollow her, but maybe she will. I don't know that it's worth it to unfollow to possibly subject the pain onto your friend. It seems a little bit like tit for tat, like, oh, you hurt me, so now I'm going to hurt you. I have found in my life that that is rarely a road that feels good to go down. I understand why the fizzling of this friendship has caused you so much pain. I can certainly understand not wanting to continue to see bits and pieces of her life. It's a reminder of what you don't have anymore. But as I see it, muting instead of unfollowing leaves room for friendship repair, should that be something you're interested in the future. Yet it protects you from what you don't emotionally want to be subjected to right now. Forrest, good luck. Our next question comes all the way from the UK, and it's from Ellen. Ellen writes, I have a very close friend who I've known since we were kids. Recently, we have been spending more time together, and we have both confessed our attraction. Nom, 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 nom. I guess the problem is, for some reason, we're both finding it hard to take the next step. I think the long history of just being friends makes things kind of awkward at first, even though I want more, and I know he does too. Any advice on how to break through? Ellen, you gotta MO. And by MO, I mean you gotta make out. You gotta rip the band-aid off. You gotta make out. Because as soon as you make out, you will know. Food for thought. Not all great friendships translate into relationships. Sometimes friends are just meant to be friends. If you have already made out, I say we up the ante. I want this podcast to be appropriate for all types of people, so I'm not going to tell you what you should move on to. You can know so much from making out with someone. When I was in high school, I'm taking it back. I'm taking it way back. When I was in high school, I started to date, aka hold hands with, some guy. He made out with me. I thought I wanted this. It was the most disgusting kiss I have ever had in my life. I have nightmares about this kiss. Oh my God, there was so much tongue. There was so much saliva. It was... I knew in that moment, oh my God, I gotta break things off. I did. I called him the next day. I broke it off. We had 48 hours of hand-holding. He was devastated. I don't know if he was devastated. I've decided he was devastated. If my memory serves me correctly, he actually moved on very quickly. Ellen, back to you. I do believe that straight men and straight women can be friends. I also think that sometimes our friendships are our most intimate relationships. Perhaps you and your friend are just that, friends. It's meant to stay that way. Maybe the awkwardness is telling you something. Do I know what I'm talking about as it pertains to your life exactly? No, I do not. But here's what I would do. Put on some sexy music and you swap saliva. If you don't feel that spark, if you don't feel that tingle in your loins, that man is meant to be your friend. And may I leave you with this. Friendship is never a consolation prize. It is a gift. You know what time it is, and you know what it's time for. It's episode 2. We've been doing this for years. We're old pros here. It's time for a segment I simply call No. From Renee. A close friend of 40 years was insensitive to my daughter who was having a meltdown in her 3-year-old preschool class. My friend picked her up to standing position, stepped away, and recorded her meltdown, showing her hitting herself, which she had never done before. I got the ick about the whole situation, so I confronted my friend via kind text saying we value compassion over compliance. She has cut me out of her life ever since. This was a year ago. Should I reach out to her? Absolutely not. From Liz. Can one balance wanting to be more eccentric in style while feeling cloistered in a frigid environment? Workspace. Unfortunately, no. Throw that dingy zip-up hoodie in your tote bag. From Miri. Would you pay $1,800 for a phone? Pfft, no. Wait a minute. Wait. Stop just there. Is that how much iPhones cost now? Because if so, unfortunately, I need to change my no to a yes. Hey, guess what? My New York Times best-selling memoir, Men Have Called Her Crazy, is now available in paperback. Paperback is cool because it's cheaper than hardcover and it's easier to carry around. Wondering if you should buy it? Don't take it from me, I'm biased. Take it from some of the other people who have written very nice things about it. Like Shannon Carlin from Time, who says, it's a stunning self-portrait of a woman trying to make sense of misogyny and sexism. Lauren Melching from The Guardian says, it's a modern-day The Bell Jar. Mara Judkis from The Washington Post says, dark wit and a shrewd eye for absurdities. Lastly, Wilson Wong from the New York Times Book Review says it is equally evocative and devastating. Men Have Called Her Crazy in paperback is now available wherever you buy books. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for reading. Thank you so much for joining Coven Quorum. Coven Quorum is written, produced, and edited by me, AMT. The intro and outro song is Friend or Foe by Esther Rose. If you would like to submit a question, you will find a link to do so at the About page on my Substack, annamarietendler.substack.com, or in the bio of my Instagram, @AnnaMTendler. Until next time, take care.